death to skinny jeans.
In my defense, these are slim.
I actually came out when we first got together, and that is a true Lavender marriage.
I have a couple clients who have a thing for women farting on them.
Saucy secrets.
Welcome back to Saucy Secrets. I'm sex and dating columnist Jana. Joining me is radio extraordinaire MC.
Thank you.
I know you love when I say that. And we have a big show coming up. Just looking at the run sheet, we're talking Lavender marriages, which is so hot right now. We've got a famous Aussie escort on.
I'm concerned about something that's on the run sheet.
What is it?
I enjoy coming in. I enjoy spending my time with you. I enjoy doing this show. But I'm looking at the run sheet and I'm actually concerned that my appearance will be judged.
Oh, no, it is. I've had a lot of men sliding into my DMs for years telling me what looks good on me, what doesn't look good on me.
Wait a minute, you mean men can be entitled on the internet?
It's outrageous.
Don't believe it has never happened.
But I've also been on a lot of dates with guys who have turned up in the worst clothes and we're already off to a bad
I thought
start.
you were about to say you've turned up on dates and the blokes have told you that they don't like your outfit to your face.
No, they just want to get me out of the outfit.
Ew, don't care what the
always
clothes look
excited
as long as they're on the bedroom floor.
Maybe on the first date, maybe not. But there was an article that went viral recently on Daily Mail. One of my fellow columnists decided to put together 11 things that women wear that he can't stand. And I was like, really? Well, after years of being told what you don't like about us, I've put together a list of stuff that we don't like men wearing. And it's, if you want to turn up to a date, have your best foot forward, maybe you got divorced, you're back on the market, here is not what to wear. And you should be nervous.
I really wish I'd read this article and done my research before choosing my outfit today.
You have broken one, but that's not my first one. My first one is ill-fitting ties. I don't understand, gents. You can repeat wear clothes all the time. But when it comes to weddings or, christenings or things like that, you always have one tie and it's from either your school formal, your school clothes.
The really big, wide, shiny one.
We women spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on outfits. You can repeat. Now, I've done a bit of research. You can get a beautiful YSL or Dior or a beautiful European branded tie for at the most $500. We couldn't even get one shoe from these brands for $500. It's outrageous.
For a tie.
No, but that's the only thing you will have to spend. We need a new dress for every event we go for the gram. You can get away. I invest in one $500 tie and then you can wear your beautiful tarot cash or whatever outfit and we'll all think you're wearing Gucci because you're wearing a beautiful Gucci tie.
Okay.
Invest. Also, stop putting it down near your crotch or up too tight.
It's not meant to touch your dick. It's meant to sort of just sit above your pant, right?
Exactly. Just above the belt line.
Yeah.
Perfect. Sort out the tie situation.
Okay, noted.
Okay, the next one, you say you're not wearing them, but you are. The next one is death to skinny jeans.
In my defense, these are slim, not skinny. There's a difference. And it's only because I'm sitting down that my girthy thighs are wrapping the jeans around my leg.
No. They're skinny at the... Josh, we need come here. They are the new jeans that men should be wearing. They're loose, they're comfortable, they look smart. Look at your ankle.
Yeah.
They're skinny. Okay, well, the good news is we can't see what you ate for breakfast. But can we not turn up? Here's the reason as well, and this got me in trouble when I wrote about this. Men, you either don't have bums, so it goes straight from your back to your legs.
Yeah.
Or you do have bums, and
I've got a
every
booty.
time, see, you've got a booty.
Yeah.
Don't, if you squat or sit down in front of us, we don't want to see what you ate for breakfast. So death to the skinny jeans.
Lucky I'm wearing slim. And it's
The next
fine.
one I feel like you probably do wear is the baggy gym shorts.
You're assuming that I go to the gym, which is hilarious.
So many men wear baggy gym shorts out. And the first thing that comes to my mind is low-hanging sweaty balls. All I keep thinking about is just your balls hanging loose in these ugly jeans. They're pajamas and you're wearing them out in public.
Okay.
Death to those.
Right.
This one I'm very passionate about. The thongs or the croc situations. I've had 2 guys turn up to dates in thongs.
So it's okay to wear them if you're in the backyard or you're going to the beach?
Sure.
But
Beach,
not,
fine.
Makes sense.
Not even to the pub. They're not good. Also, if you embellish your crocs, straight to jail.
What do they call them? Gibbets?
I don't
Gibbets? The little things that they stick? Gibbets or giblets?
I don't know, and may I never not know because they're horrific. Straight to jail. Ugh, flashy jewelry. Or like, you know how guys wear all those bands that they got from like a lad's trip to Thailand, or the thick necklaces? So gross. So, oh my God, you are wearing them. Oh, straight to jail.
But I didn't get that from a lad's trip. It's like tiger eyes. There's an evil eye. There's like a nice silver bracelet. Is that?
See, I would just keep the silver bracelet, maybe the evil eye, because, times are tough.
Why did I turn up today? Why did I turn up today?
No, the jury is for the women. We don't want you looking like Mr. T. The next one, cargo shorts and graphic tees.
Okay, I'm good with those.
Jack Black.
All right, okay.
Like, if your whole personality is like, best beer drinker in the world, or you've got those horrific hippie shirts.
I do remember when I was a young man, I used to wear one I thought was hilarious, and it said how to pick up chicks. And it was 3 diagrams. I think I got it from JJ's, like in the late 90s. And it was a diagram of a person picking up like an actual chicken.
Oh, see? Dad joke.
What a cool guy.
Not a cool guy. Chuck out your cargo shorts.
Okay.
You're not going through the bush. Chuck out your graphic tees. That doesn't give you a personality, just a beautiful linen shirt. And finally, the 2 small polo shirts. We get that you go to the gym. We love that you go to the gym. But if you're showing more cleavage than me, get out. Get out. And also, why do men get them where they really cinch at the arm? Like, what is the purpose of them?
Mine's okay.
No, you're fine. You pass with that. But it just makes you look like a wanker, like a gym junkie wanker.
We have talked about all kinds of things on this show, and I've never been more uncomfortable and more nervous in my life.
Good, because now you know how women feel. We have the best guests with the best saucy secrets, and joining us today is a man named Marty, all the way from Phoenix, Arizona. Marty, what is your saucy secret?
My saucy secret is I am gay and I have a wife.
How does that
Ooh la
work?
la.
Explain, how did this happen?
It's called a lavender marriage.
Oh, they're very hot right now. They keep
right.
popping up on my TikTok. You keep popping up in my TikTok. Now, how does a lavender marriage work? Because I think I want one.
I think many women do. Well, a modern day lavender marriage is when a gay man and a straight woman really decide to build a life together. So it's about purpose. It's not a cover like it used to be in the 20s. It was created in Hollywood as a cover, but everyone is talking about it now. It's not a secret. It's really just 2 people who know they're going to make an incredible team.
Oh, I love that, because my stepdad had a serious word with me a little while ago. He sat me down. He was all very serious, and he goes, Jana, I think I've discovered why you don't have a boyfriend. And I said, why? And he goes, because you just keep hanging out with gay men. How are you going to meet any straight ones? And I thought, you're right.
Yeah, there's certainly a demographic of women, we call them fruit flies, that just attract the gays. And they're usually beautiful women like yourself.
Oh, thank you. I'm happy to be a fruit fly. But how does it work in terms of sex and relations? Like, you've got kids, don't you?
I do. I have 1 daughter, yes.
So does that mean you've slept together in a marriage sense, or was that a turkey baster?
No, it was a marriage sense. So we were in a legacy marriage, I like to call it, for 11 years. And then I came out again to her, because I actually came out when we first got together, and that is a true lavender marriage. And then 11 years into the marriage, during the whole pandemic, I really started thinking about things and was like, I need to be an out gay man. And so we had another tough conversation, and we've spent the last 3 years kind of transitioning our marriage, if you will, into a true lavender marriage today. So, the intimacy question, people assume that intimacy really only means one thing. In our house, it means 2 20-second hugs a day. When she flips my laundry for me so it doesn't turn into, it doesn't ferment for days. And me helping stretch her hamstrings out before she runs a marathon. So, we've been together for 17 years, and I think a lot of people can learn you really can live without that and have a very solid foundation in a great relationship.
Can I ask, and I'll do this as delicately as I can, how do you scratch the itch that you're clearly not going to get scratched being in this lavender marriage?
That is a great question. We have data plans, and so we communicate with each other. We are, absolutely, I don't like to use the word allowed, but we communicate to each other. We really planned when we went into this, and again, it's been a very long, drawn-out thing, if you will. We've really put a lot of work and effort, counseling, therapy, into what this marriage looks like. And so we really planned for it to evolve. We know that, maybe that person is going to come along for either one of us at some point in time, and we want to make sure that that person obviously fits the dynamic of our family, and they have to love either one of us in order to do either one of us, if you will. And I'm going to make sure that any man she's with is not gay this time.
Yes, that's just being a good husband.
You know what I mean? You got to do that for your wife, right?
And are you worried that she will fall in love with the guy that will want to, move into the house or play stepdad or change the dynamic?
I'm not worried about it. It is something, again, that we've really planned for. It's something that, when I look back at when I was in my legacy marriage, if you will, that was something that I had a lot of guilt about. I always felt in some ways like I wasn't a real man in every way. And even though we had an intimate relationship, we obviously have a child. I just always knew I wasn't as affectionate and didn't love her in all of those ways like I should. And so at the end of the day, yes, it will hurt. That's still my wife. I've been with her for 17 years, but I know she will pick a great man, and I will be happy to see her, get some, really. I try to push her out there. She always acts like it's a surprise when somebody hits on her. And I was like, you're a bomb bitch. I don't know if I can say that, but, get it, girl. So yeah, but at the end of the day, yeah, it will be hard, but that's life. And we really, that's something we put a lot of time and consideration into really working through. And it's something I ultimately will be happy to see her happy.
And what advice would you, because there would be a lot of women who are exhausted with the dating scene right now, like I am, and they are looking at their best friend, like their gay best friend, going, actually, it'd be lovely to make a life with you. What is your advice for anyone thinking of entering into a lavender marriage?
I think I've preluded to it, if that's even the right word, or alluded to it in my previous answers. And it's advanced relationship engineering, if you will. I mean, you really have to be clear on the goal and the outcomes that you want. I always say if people spent more time building relationships like they do a business, they would honestly last. So you really have to be clear on what you want, and make sure that it makes, you have to look into yourself as well. So if I was starting a business and I needed a numbers guy and I was kind of the people person, I would look for that. I would interview them. There would be this whole process, and I would really make sure that this was a qualified individual and we had the same kind of goals and outcomes. So I would say, again, advanced relationship engineering. You've really got to plan it out and figure out what it is that you want.
Two-part question.
Yes.
How old is your daughter? And if she's old enough, what does she know of the lavender marriage? What is her understanding? How have you communicated this with her?
She lives in a house with Mouth of the South here, who's on social media every day. Yes, she is fully aware of the lavender marriage. She is, to answer your question, she is 14 going on life coach, honestly.
Okay, good.
She does know about it. When I actually told her 2 years after I came out at work and after I, came out again to my wife. Again, very thoughtfully planned, appropriately timed, all of it. I had a therapist that helped me map all of this out. And honestly, kids these days, they don't look at sexuality and put as much emphasis on it as we do. It was kind of a blip in the radar for her. She really doesn't give a shit. She said she hopes my boyfriend is nice. And then she kind of laughed when she thought about her mom having a boyfriend. She actually talked to her therapist about it. And she was like, my mom, she's not going to get a boyfriend, but she will.
Yes, she will.
Yeah.
So really all it comes down to is just really healthy, good communication skills.
100%. Yeah. Well, and a friendship. We have, again, 17 years of a relationship together. But I think for anybody, even people looking to go into a new lavender relationship, and, I have this huge following online, and I'm building, an app for this. And it really is about, finding that good dynamic. I think you mentioned, kicking this off. you have a lot of gay friends, and there's just a certain individual that, it's power couple dynamics really at the end of the day.
Yes.
So I think when that match is there, you're going to find it, and that person's going to support you in a way. And they don't have to be forever. It doesn't have to be something where you're like, I'm going to really lock myself down with this person. They can be just like they were when they were arranged in the 20s through the 50s in Hollywood. Is you can have a term, hey, this is what I want to accomplish with you as an individual. Like, let's support each other in life. Well,
that's what I wanted to ask. Do you have a set of rules that you stick to?
We don't like the ownership thing, if you will. Neither one of us really own each other. And we, I would say we used to be that way. That's kind of a traditional marriage setting. We don't ask for permission to live our lives. I think it's way more powerful and interesting. Like I said, we used to live under that old framework that you needed permission to go somewhere, but we just talk about what we want. So it's about, here's what I'm doing, and here's how I feel it supports our family. We're adults that are building a life together and not teenagers sneaking out of the house, essentially. So there's no rules. I mean, it is, it's about communication and mutual respect, of course.
That's the thing, because it feels like there's definitely respect, as you put it. There's clearly, most relationships could do with the communication that you guys have. And obviously there's love, there is love. Yeah. You might not be in love in a sense, but clearly you love each other very much because you're really making a fist of this, and it seems like it's working for everyone.
And there's such a loneliness epidemic at the moment. I know a lot of women are really lonely. I know a lot of guys are lonely. What a lovely fix outside the box, but, I think it's working. I think there's something I think I want a lavender marriage.
We're building the framework. We've got the blueprint. Come on over.
I'm so here for it.
On the list.
If
I will
people
be.
want to find you, they want to learn more about your lavender marriage, where can they do that? Where can we find you?
They can follow me on TikTok or Instagram at It's McMartyFly. Or they can go to llama.life, which is my website landing page. There's a lot more. There's podcasts about us there. There is blog post on there. And of course, the wait list for my Lavender Marriage app, that's llma.life.
We'll be joining.
Well, look, we wish you the best. Good luck in this current version of your Lavender Marriage and whatever the future may hold. Thank you so much for coming on Saucy Secrets. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Love you.
Coming up now, we have a saucy secret that's quite left of field. It's not something I've heard of before, but it's got me intrigued. So joining us on the phone tonight is someone who's preferring to go by anonymous.
Yeah.
We won't be outing them, but we want to hear everything they have to say. Welcome to the show, Anonymous.
Hi there, how you guys going?
Good, thank you. Now tell us, what's your saucy secret?
My saucy secret is that I just attended a 4-day-long festival celebrating alternative relationships.
Now, when you say alternative, what does alternative exactly mean?
Well, alternative predominantly talks about relationships that are not monogamous. So we live in a society that predominantly celebrates monogamy, the relationship between two people only. But alternative relationships can be a combination of different types of relationships. But the great thing about this particular event is it's called FAR, or Festival of Alternative Relationships. It celebrates not just the alternative elements of these relationships, but also celebrates connection as a whole.
To the normal person, that might just sound like a festival that's just a giant boink fest. Is there a lot of sex going on at this festival?
Yeah, undeniably, yes, absolutely. That is definitely part of the highlight. On the Saturday night, there is a mandatory workshop that everyone has to attend, and it's about consent, it's about communication. In that space, there was the King Space, which was sponsored by Velvet Road, and Our Secret Spot, which was, to do with a whole bunch of King Spaces. So you've got like impact play or whatever. You've got the Temple Space, which was about an escalation from getting to know people into more of an organic sex environment. And then lastly, you had the Play Space, which is essentially a bunch of tents ready to rock and roll with plenty of hand wash and condoms and beds ready to rock and roll for people that just want to jump right in.
So that's would you say it's kind of like a swingers event? So you go into these tents, and if you want to play, you can play with multiple people if you want.
Those play tents in particular, yeah, sure, you could call that. But the festival itself doesn't predominantly focus on swinging and swingers. And I think that's a pretty important thing to make a distinction about. because most people probably would be familiar with, like, I have a partner sometimes who like to swing, or I'm familiar with that world in some way. But this is not what that's celebrating. This is just one element of it. It's like, yeah, sure, if you want to play, you can. But the really critical element of how the festival runs is about connection, about human beings wanting to engage with one another. Like, the barriers that we put up around each other for society to run.
Okay, so this festival is an open space where people can actively go up to someone and say, I find you really attractive. I'd like to get to know you better, perhaps on a more intimate level. So it's just opening up
100%.
those kind of conversations.
Are you in a relationship, Anonymous? Did you go to this festival with a partner, or just a single dude and just went in there with an open mind to see what waited for you?
I went single this time, but I have partners that I've taken on dates that were there with their other boyfriends. I was there with other people that have already gone on dates who ended up, we had a spark, but we just ended up going on dates instead and being friends. And that was a really great way to engage with people, because the connections that you make sometimes can just be platonic at the end, and that's fine. But I did go single. I did have quite a few people asking to engage with me. Some people I wanted to, some people I didn't, but I still had a great time.
And are people engaging in front of other people? Like, do you go off to private rooms, or is it pretty open?
So people aren't really, like, especially if it's broad daylight and, like, in the middle of the tent, people are going to be able to, go to their own tent or go to their own spaces, because there has to be a degree of, like, how we function. Like, it's just going to be odd if people are just, like, walking around just railing everywhere. It's not like you can't, but there still has, there's no explicit rule against it, but it's like people generally respect the fact that it's like, they're not going to fuck in the bathrooms, they're not going to fuck in the cuddle puddle tents. They're just going to, like, you've got spaces to do it where it makes more sense.
And what is the cuddle puddle tent? Because it sounds kind of gross.
No, well, it's actually fucking amazing. So, excuse my French, but we have a very explicit content that we're talking about. There are two kinds. One was, it's called the petting zoo, and the petting zoo essentially is a giant tent. It's a really lovely tent, by the way. It's like, it fits about 50 people, maybe less. But we filled it all with, like, big fluffy animals, so you can jump in there and you'll be immersed in, like, giant plushy toys just to chill and vibe. And there is an explicit rule right at the front of that. It says, shoes off, no sex, no drinks, no anything, just anything. You could enter and have a cuddle. But the way that we closed out this Saturday night was the cuddle puddle, and that was a gig that was run by Alaska Young of E&M Australia, who did a bunch of acoustic guitar, and we all had mattresses in the rotunda, and we just laid down and we just all snuggled up and we cuddled, and it was just lovely, a nice way just to chill out and enjoy the vibes after a really long weekend.
And clearly, I suppose, there are people that are at this festival, a whole range of what there are. There's no expectation that you need to take part in any of the exercises, except for that mandatory session that you said a little while ago. But I'm assuming you're just allowed to do as much or as little as you want.
Absolutely. There's no pressure to do anything at all. You could ignore all the workshops with the exception of the mandatory consent talk and just chill in the pool. You're allowed to just vibe on the dance floor. You're allowed to just go for the bushwalks and experience, like, the beautiful scenery.
And I'm just looking at some of the workshops that are on offer at this event, and you've got sound healing, lovely.
Yep.
How to develop lap dance experience, massage etiquette, and then there's conscious sugar dating. What is conscious sugar dating?
Yeah. Conscious sugar dating was pretty interesting. That was explaining how there were some sugar daddies that were basically asking for the girlfriend experience because they've got the money and they just generally don't have the time. Generally, you'll find, like, older single men that are looking for a younger date to be able to spoil and to engage in an intimate relationship. People that wouldn't normally be in your life, you can bridge that gap with money. That personally isn't for me. I wouldn't go engage with that, but that was interesting.
So is that teaching people, like, how to consciously get into a situation like that, or how to
it was
ask
both.
someone? Okay, that's so fascinating.
Yeah, it was a panel with a sugar daddy and also with a sugar baby who ended up running their own business surrounding it. And they engaged in paid dating, essentially. So it's kind of like, taking clients for sex work, except it's just dating. It may not necessarily involve intimacy, So people just really just want companionship in that regard. Sometimes they want intimacy, and if they can afford it, they can.
How many people were at the festival?
250, and that's a hard cap.
Wow. Okay.
Really? So they're only allowed 250
Yeah.
people.
And if someone's listening to this chat going, oh, this is kind of interesting, why should they get a ticket to next year's Far Festival?
Unfortunately, there will not be another Far Festival because it was just the way that it was structured. We basically need an angel donor in order to be able to run the next one. So it's not impossible, but there is an Instagram called Far Festival, just one word, lowercase. And they can have a look at some of the photos that were brought up there and to get a good understanding about it. But there's also potential opportunities to join the open circle through invitation and vetting, which is our little group of people that involved. But it requires getting to know people and getting to know the community and getting to know the space.
So if you did buy a ticket, they'll do a background check to just make sure you're above board.
Correct. Yes,
That's
I do.
smart.
Well, let's hope that there is like a festival sugar daddy that's listening, and they can stump up that cash and they can bring that angel money, and the Far Festival can continue. Anonymous, thank you so much for telling us all about the Far Festival. It sounds like a wild couple of days, and I'm glad you had a good time, and we appreciate you coming on Saucy Secrets.
No, you're so welcome. Thank you very much.
Today's guest is one of Australia's top escorts, and she has seen everything. The secrets, the scandals, the wild requests, even a married man who dropped 45 grand on her. But with over 42,000 followers and a reputation for brutal honesty, she's here to spill what men really get up to behind closed doors. Please welcome Lilith Lodge.
Hello, guys.
What made you want to get into escorting?
Look, it was kind of a progression. I started out in, I guess, the easier elements of sex work. So I started out as a cam girl and I did a night in a strip club back when I was like 19. From there, I progressed and did a full year as a dancer, and I kind of got a little money hungry and I wanted something more. And therefore I ended up as a full service escort. So yeah, it's been great. I've had a really great experience so far, and I've learned a lot of things, particularly about men.
Yeah, can you tell us some of those things? Because you get to see them at their most vulnerable and their most primal. What's something that surprised you about the men who do book your services?
I think the most surprising thing for me was that a lot of them, it's not just about the sex. Like when you think of an escort, you think she spends the entire time, a 5-hour booking, a 4-hour booking, having sex. But for a lot of them, the emotional connection and having somebody that they can talk to about literally anything and everything is really important to them. I think that was quite surprising to me. I've had a lot of men book me and not even have sex at all.
Really? I'd be a little bit offended if someone booked me.
Is it like when you go to the hairdresser or the barber, for some reason you just will open up to that person because they're completely removed from your friendship circle, your family, so you feel comfortable with them? What kind of stuff do you talk about with these blokes?
Yeah, absolutely. I think two people being naked, laying in a bed together, when I know none of their family, not like their workplace, nothing like that, no one in their life, they feel a lot more comfortable opening up to me about a lot of things. This could be things like, troubles in their marriage or, traumatic experiences they've had in life, someone passing away. They will just trauma dump on me while I'm there, and I'm all there for it. I'm happy to do it.
Wow, you're kind of like a therapist. Now, you've been quite open about the fact that a lot of married men come to see you. I have a theory that married men tend to go to escorts because it's the Madonna whore theory. Have you heard about this?
No, I have not.
Okay, so a lot of men see their wives as a Madonna, someone who's beautiful and who they have nice, sweet missionary sex with.
Right.
But they're too scared to tell them about their kinks. So they go to someone who they can pay to try out things that they might be too nervous to ask their wife. Have you found that?
Yeah, I think this is a big part of the reason why they come and see someone like me. A lot of these guys have some sort of unusual thing that they are into, and they just don't feel comfortable asking their wife, or if they do, she's kind of shut them down about it earlier on and they've just never mentioned it again. So there are all sorts of unusual things that I get asked to do.
Like what? What are some of the things?
Some of the most unusual would probably be fart requests, which I think is quite out there. I
What?
do
What?
have
Can you fart on me?
Yeah, can
they come
you
in paying for that.
expand on that? They get their kink, like they get off on farting?
Yeah, so I'd say that's probably the most out there thing that I have done. I have a couple clients who have a thing for women farting on them. It's a domination sort of thing. They want it to be like, take that sort of thing.
Crop
And
dust them.
it is quite unusual because, I mean, when are they going to be able to ask a girlfriend or a wife to fart in their face? It just wouldn't happen. There are some other unusual things, I would say, like pegging, or I get a lot of feet guys. That's actually quite common. But they just don't feel comfortable asking their girlfriend or their partner for that sort of thing because they'll think that it's weird.
I think pegging is way more common than people think. I get, when I used to run Saucy Secrets on my Instagram, so many guys were like, I'm into pegging. Do you think it will ever be normalised?
I wish it was, honestly. It's one of my favourite things to do. I actually had a scene doing that yesterday, so it's like fresh in my mind. Love it. But I think it's really taboo for them to talk about, right? Because a lot of people are like, oh, that's gay, if you're into that, you're gay. And I think it just puts all this stigma around it. But it is quite a common request for us, to be honest.
And isn't that where a men's G-spot is?
Yes.
Up their butt.
Yeah, why
Okay,
would they put it in there if they weren't meant to have anything in there?
Exactly. They must experience it. A friend of mine tried it the other day with her partner, and she actually put her hip out because she didn't realize how much thrust goes into
Didn't stretch,
pegging.
wasn't limber, wasn't ready.
We've never had to do it, so we don't know how much effort you guys actually put in. Bravo, guys.
It's good cardio. How many, and maybe this has happened or maybe it hasn't, how many married men come in with the permission of their wives, or their wives know that they're in there with you? Is that something that happens?
Yeah, this does happen. It is quite rare, but it does happen. One comes to mind immediately. He was a guy who booked me for an hour, walked into my apartment, gives me the money, and he's talking to me. He's like, my wife knows that I'm here. She actually booked you, and I didn't want to see you. You're not my type.
What?
But she said that you were the one that she wanted me to see. So she picked me out. And I asked him a few questions. I was like, oh, this is interesting. I haven't heard about this before. And he's like, yeah, I'm allowed 4 a year, 1 per quarter, for 1 hour each. I can't do long ones because I'll get too attached. That's what he said.
Oh my gosh. So wait, is that because she doesn't want to have sex with him, or because she wants him to have variety?
Yeah, she doesn't have sex with him. That's what he said.
So he only gets sex 4 times a year? That's
Yeah.
so sad.
Yeah.
I wonder what the criteria was when she was selecting the right person for him. Clearly it was, the best of the best, and that's why you were chosen naturally.
Obviously. But have you ever had wives find out or go through their phone, like their partner's phone, and find your number or anything like that and confront you?
No, I haven't had this yet. However, a lot of my friends in the industry have experienced that. One actually got hit at a nightclub by a client's wife, which was really wild. I haven't experienced that yet. I did have somebody reach out to me asking if I had seen their partner. However, I'd actually never seen him, genuinely hadn't. And I replied back to the message and I'm like, I've never seen that phone number. Like, you've got me confused, or you're accusing him. He hasn't done anything wrong. But it is kind of our responsibility to keep it discreet, even if they are to contact us. We're not really meant to say anything. So
Well, we had a private investigator on a little while ago, and he did say that he does sometimes work with escorts to find out information about people. Have you ever had a PI approach you whose wife has maybe set him off to find out if their partner's cheating?
no, I've never heard of that happening. I'm sure it does, but, it'd be pretty uncommon, and it's something that I would never engage in. I mean, my loyalty is to the client in terms of discretion. Like, I'd never go around being like, oh, yes, I've seen this person. It's not my circus and not my monkeys, right? What they're doing and who they're choosing to see and them cheating is their business. It's not my business to involve myself in that sort of stuff.
And do you ever feel guilty if you know a man is married and perhaps hasn't told his wife that he's coming to see you?
Look, when I was very new in the industry, I would say my first year, I did feel some sort of guilt. I'd be a bit like, oh, this is icky, especially when they'd show me photos of their wife. Like, they'd pull it out and be showing me.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I'm not joking. Showing me their wedding photos and stuff while we're laying in the bed after doing the deed. It was just really uncomfortable, and I used to get this weird feeling. And sometimes I'd need to decompress a little after the session because I'd be like, oh, I don't know how I feel about this. But I'm 3.5 years in now, and I feel like I'm so desensitized to it. I don't even think twice about it anymore. But I definitely did feel guilty when I was new, for sure.
Yeah, but now it's just... Do you think it is really common that most of them are married?
I would say about 50% of the guys that I see are married. And we'd never really know the exact numbers because they lie. You know, a lot of them will tell me they're single and a few years into seeing me tell me that they're going through a divorce. And I'm like, but I thought you were single.
Oh, naughty, naughty. Have you ever had anyone like, you know, because you have to make them feel like a god in the bedroom because it's, you know, kind of your job to be like, oh my God, this sex
you're the
is
best
amazing.
I've ever had.
I love it. Has anyone ever developed feelings for you and got a little bit stalkerish?
Yeah, absolutely. I recently did a story time on TikTok. It's quite a long one. I had a client tell me that he loved me and he offered me $120,000 a year to be exclusive with him and only him. So yeah, he blurted out, I love you as he busted. And yeah.
And what did you answer?
I kind of laughed at him, to be honest. I was a little bit insulted at the number, and I wasn't interested at all. It was a wild number to offer. I mean, $120,000 a year. He's well aware that I make a lot more than that, and for him to be saying you can't see anyone else, just me, be on call for me, like that's not a lot of money to be doing that by any means.
Not with this cost of living crisis, am I right? Triple it, quadruple it, 10 times it. Might consider it.
Oh my gosh. Now, what's the most common insecurity clients have when they come to see you? Like, is there anything that stands out that they're a bit insecure about?
I feel like the most common one I encounter is the size of their dick. I don't know what it is with men, but I think it stems from watching porn and they're seeing the extreme, like the monster cocks is what they're seeing, and they're thinking that is what's considered large. And a lot of them are regular or large size in condoms coming to see me and being like, oh, I know it's small. And I'm like, babe, you're actually a large size in condoms. Like, this is not small. I've even had someone who was a Supermax, which is the biggest size of condom that we have here in Australia. And he's like, oh, yeah, I know it's regular size. I'm like, babe, that thing is huge. Like, it's huge.
Bless him. Can you please help settle the debate? Because I always say women don't want really big ones. We just want a normal size one and we just want you to know how to use it. Do you find that? Because it does always start a debate whenever I say that.
Yeah, I'm not really interested in the really big ones. Like, especially a Supermax, they can be really painful, especially if they're quite rough and they don't build you up properly. Like, that can be a painful experience, especially for women who don't do my job and they're not super experienced with all of that, you know. It can be a lot. You need a lot of lube to get the thing in there. I think a regular, even a slim, like a slightly smaller one that's like, I think they need to be about 3 inches long really to hit the right spot. So 3 inches and above, they can still make you come.
Oh, thank God you said that, because no one ever believes me. And I'm like, it's true. If we have to do breathing exercises to sleep with you, we don't want any part of it. I did want to ask, what's something you've learnt about men through escorting that we women might not even know about?
I think that we assume that they just operate to have sex, especially when we're talking about escorts. We're like, yeah, these guys are just going to see them. They want to have sex. That's all they care about. And while it is a really big part of, I think, their motivation and something that they put a lot of weight in, you know, they'll think about it for weeks when they have it pre-booked in the session and all that sort of thing. I think a lot of them are really quite nervous, like nervous creatures. And, you know, they talk a big game and they'll be like, yeah, I'm going to come there and I'm going to go to Pound Town and this and that. And then when they walk in the door, they look terrified. I think a lot of them need to feel a connection, a lot more than we assume. Like, we think they just walk in and just fucking leave. But I really don't think that's the reality. That's not what I see with the majority of them. They need to feel comfortable in order to be able to perform and do the deed, you know?
And what are you thinking about, like, when you're having sex with them? Are you, like, in the moment? Are you enjoying it? Because I spoke to an escort a few years ago and she said that she was just mentally going through her shopping list. Like, oh, I've got to go pick up the steak before I go and pick up the kids after school. What are you thinking about when you're having sex with these men?
Oh my God. I can imagine if I was off in like dreamland and they were like dirty talking to me and I'm not paying attention, I would never get repeat business. They'd be like, oh yeah, do you like that? And I'd be like thinking about my shopping list. No, I'm very present with my clients. I can understand that a lot of girls may just switch off. I feel like at my price point that I'm charging and all that sort of thing, I really need to be on it and I need to be super present, or else I'm not going to get any work and I'm not going to get repeat clientele. So for me, I'm very much in the moment and focusing on what's happening and trying to figure out, are they enjoying that? Do I need to slow down? Do I need to speed up? You know, that's kind of more where my brain is, very much in it. But I could definitely see how, especially if they're going for a really long time, like a 2 hours straight, your mind probably would wander and you'd be like, oh, what what am I going to have for dinner tonight?
Yeah, that's just normal sex. That's me sometimes having sex.
Is it sometimes really hard to be in that moment? Because I'm assuming sometimes you've got clients that come in, for want of a better term, are a bit gross, and they are just the furthest thing from the type of person you want to get intimate with. Is it sometimes really difficult to do your job?
For me, not really. And the funny thing is that, people always think these guys are super repulsive that come and see us. Some of the most attractive men that I have slept with in my life were clients as well. We get a really mixed bag, You never know what's going to walk in the door. But what I've actually found is a lot of those guys who are, by society's standards, unattractive are the best ones in bed. That's what I've experienced so far. So a lot of the time, those guys that you're like, oh, I don't know if I can sleep with them, they will be the ones that know what they're doing. It's really bizarre.
Secret power.
Maybe because they've got to put in extra work. They don't have the pretty privilege. Final question. It is a big job what you do, and, you are part therapist, part, and there's a lot of physical work that does go into it. How do you decompress after a session? Like, what do you do to kind of ground yourself?
When I was newer in the industry, I feel like the decompression thing was a big part of it. You'd finish a booking and you kind of stand there for a second and just, I guess, dissociate, or maybe you'd sit on the ground in the shower or get yourself a nice meal or something like that, put your hoodie on and sit there. But after that first year, I feel like I don't really even do that anymore. I'll be heading to the shops. The second they leave, I'll be getting changed and putting my shoes on and heading to the shopping centre. Like, I don't really feel the need to do that. But I think for a lot of workers, it's really important having that separation between who they are and who they are for work, the real person and the character that they play. But as those two things kind of merge over time, I don't feel the need to super decompress. But I think the go-to for most workers is sitting on the floor of the shower. Don't know what it is. The girls talk about it all the time. Sitting on the floor of the shower and just like rocking, or like having the water hit their skin. I don't know. I hear them talk about it all the time.
Wow. Yeah, I've done that, but it's usually after a breakup. I get it. I get where they're coming from. Well, you are incredible. You the way you describe it is so humanizing and interesting. Sorry, I know I keep saying final one, but I just have one more question.
Go on.
What would be your advice for anyone thinking of getting into the business? I know a lot of people think it's quick, easy money, but what would be your advice now that you've been in it for a little while?
Look, I would say make sure you're doing your research before you do it. It's easy enough to see people like myself included doing money counts on social media or talking about these designer bags and goods that we got. But you need to understand the reality of it too and really think long and hard about it. This industry isn't all glamorous. Like, horrible things do happen to us on the job. It's not always easy. And a lot of what you see on social media, myself included, we've worked for years to get to that point. So now we make a lot of money and we have like the best of the best clientele, but we didn't start like that. And I think you need to really think and consider, will I be able to handle it when something goes wrong? Will I be able to stand up for myself and say, hey, no, that's not okay? Or will you kind of flounder and allow things to happen to you? It's a lot harder than it looks when you're watching it on social media, and make sure that you really think about the way it's going to impact the rest of your life, because, especially if you're going to be face out and really outspoken like myself, it's going to affect your career later on. If you decide you want to be an engineer or work in IT or work in a corporate office, it's going to follow you forever.
Yeah, gosh, that's good advice, isn't it?
If people want to inquire, they want to book your services, where do they go? How do they do it?
The best website is always Scarlet Blue, which is an escorting directory here in Australia. It's probably the best one. You can find anyone on there, like all sorts of, different states, even rural towns will be listed on there. That's the best way to find us.
And where can we find you on the socials if we just want to hear your stories?
My TikTok's probably my best one. So I have two different TikToks, Lilith Lodge 3.0 and Lilith Lodge Secret. And my main Instagram account is Lilith_Lodge, and I post all my story times and things like that on there.
Amazing.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on Saucy Secrets, and good luck with the future.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm very passionate about my sex toys. I have tried all of them pretty much, but They are expanding, and they're expanding rapidly.
And becoming more common, you know.
Super common.
The taboo is gone. It's a completely normal thing to have wherever you keep it in your bedroom.
Yes, and for those of us who have been single for quite a long time, there are fill-in boyfriends. But there is a new one. We've actually got it on the show today. It's called the Handy Interactive Stroker. It's wild.
We were looking at the catalogue, the products that you can get from Juju, and this one we went, whoa.
It stumped us.
Whoa.
We thought, okay, we've gone very modern age now, so we need someone to come on and tell us how it actually works in this world of AI. So joining us today is Anton, who's the founder and managing director of Juju, my favorite sex toy company, and he's going to explain what the heck is a handy interactive stroker and why do all men need it?
Thank you for having me on the show. The handy. It's it is a piece of tech which is absolutely incredible. It's for penis owners. It's an AI stroker which connects to VR and synchronizes with the action that you see on screen. So it is a serious product.
So basically, if you're watching porn, you can sync it to the porn so it feels like, so the stroker is working as if you're the one having sex. Is that right?
That's it. That's right. And then you add the VR goggles and it's like you're actually immersed in the experience.
That's so wild.
I mean, AI edits our text messages. It goes through our emails before we send it. So why shouldn't AI help us climb Mount Everest? You know what I mean?
I'm worried that, like, us women are going to be out of a job soon. Who needs us when you could be, like, having a really good time to your favourite porn star?
Well, no. Well, maybe think of it this way. If you film a sex tape with your significant other, and let's just say you're out of town, well, then you can still have your special cuddles with your partner, even though they're not in the room with you.
That's so good. And do you find, like, how are they selling? Do enough people know about them? Because I've tried to explain it to a few people, and they're just, like, fascinated with the modern age, sex toys. So are they kind of flying out the door?
Yeah, when it comes to AI sex tech, we've noticed over the past couple of years, the trend has really been shifting towards this sort of devices. So men, penis owners, they are leaning more towards these type of products than your typical, just a normal stroker, just because it gives them more, more variety with their sensations and what they can experience. Something like this, it has an open API, which basically means if you are a developer and if you have that skill set, you can customize your experience beyond what it says on the box, the different vibrations and stroking models, and you can just tailor it to what you really like, and you can share it in the community for other people to enjoy your sensations. So that's been super popular, and the sales of these type of products at Handy they're flying through the roof.
So when you say community, so you can find the perfect stroke that works a treat for you, and let other people know about it, and then they can test it out.
Yes. Yeah.
See?
That's exactly what
Bringing
the
people
Handy has
together.
been able to do.
I've just had a thought, maybe the next evolution of this, because there are already like AI chatbots where people almost enter into relationships or with these AI personalities. Maybe the next step is you sync up your AI personality to one of these bad boys, and you can, instead of just talking to this computer program, you can have sex with it.
Wow. Oh, God.
Maybe you have some inside information that we don't know about.
So what else is coming up in terms of AI and sex toys? Like, what are they working on at the moment? What else are you selling that people probably... Because I'd never heard of this in my life, and I think a lot of people haven't. What else can we look forward to?
At this stage, they're really focusing on the couples elements of these toys. So this product, yes, you can enjoy it as a solo session, but it's designed more in terms of, let's say you're in a long distance relationship, your significant other is across the world, they can control it through their app. So it's kind of bridging relationships together. So even though you're apart, you're still together and you can still have fun together. And that's kind of where the world within this AI sex tech is heading. So not so much the AI robots, but it's more about bridging couples together and their experiences together. And of course, giving the penis owners an awesome experience in the process, because the whole sex toy industry throughout the history has always been focused on female pleasure.
Yeah.
So now male pleasure has really come out, and men are realizing, well, hang on a second, we want something unique and new and different as well. And that's why there's a whole boom in male sex tech.
And it's so interesting because I got shamed the other day and I really had to check myself because I was hosting like a Tell Me a Saucy Secret thing on my Instagram, and this guy was like, I love cock cages. And I was like,
Sorry, what? Hang on. A what?
A cock cage.
What is a cock cage?
That was my first reaction. And my first interaction, which I had to check myself,
painful.
was I went, ew, a cock cage, that's gross. And then I Googled it, and it's like where men, they can actually put their cocks in a cage.
In a cage?
And so the women tease them and they can't do anything about it, and it's about longevity. And I kind of had a bit of attitude around it and went off on my Instagram. And then all these guys came for me and they're like, wait, you talk about vibrators and dildos all the time. Why are you shaming us? And I really had to step back and go, oh, I was shaming you. And that's not really fair, because I would get upset at anyone for shaming me for talking about dildos or vibrators.
A pussy pen.
Exactly. So I'm like, okay. So we do have to get rid of the taboo, because there is all this amazing stuff for men now as well. And are you noticing that more men are coming to Juju to see what's on offer?
Definitely. We are noticing over the years, if we step back over the past 13 years, initially, I think it was most like 80% females. Now we're noticing a shift where it's 60-40, so 60% females, 40% males are shopping on the website. So it's definitely increased quite a bit. Yeah. So males are embracing their sexuality and really trying to experience something new.
Can I ask, what made you want to start a sex toy company in the first place? Where was the inspiration, and what set you on this path?
This goes back 13 years. We've been operating for 13 years. But back then, it was a very different time in terms of stores and websites which sold sex toys. But back then, I kind of stumbled into this industry because I was doing my research, and I noticed a lot of websites, even stores, were very, seedy looking. They weren't very inviting. They didn't feel safe. And I don't know, something just clicked in me, and I'm just like, you know what, I'm going to reinvent this. I'm going to create something different. And we created Juju, where I got the inspiration of, I'm going to look at fashion-focused businesses, because they're really always on trends. Their websites are beautiful. Their stores have always been beautiful. And I kind of grabbed inspiration from fashion-focused retailers and brought it into the sexual wellness industry. And then our website was born, and that's why I kind of came into it.
It's so interesting because the laws in Australia around selling sex toys are like we're in the golden, like caveman era, because if you go into a supermarket in Paris, or you go into a pharmacy in New York, they're in beautiful boxes on shelves. There's no big taboo around it. You can buy a vibrator as if like when you're picking up Band-Aids. But in Australia, in Melbourne, you can now sell them or in Victoria, you can sell them in shops. But in New South Wales, the rule is it has to be off the street. It has to be either downstairs or upstairs. It can't be a normal shop front. There's still this all like shame around it, which is so insane. So it's nice now to have like a beautiful website where you can go and it's just like picking up toilet paper.
Now, while we've got you on the show, there are rumours that have gone around that you have once sold a dildo that's worth more than a lot of people would spend on their cars. Is this true? What was this dildo made of? And where did it end up?
Yes, so I was actually really shocked when I made this sale. It was actually in 2022. An order was placed on the website for a 24-karat gold vibrator. It was a buyer in New South Wales, and it's called the Lilo Inez. And to be honest, till that day, like still now, I think about it, and it caused us so much stress because we were so worried that it was like whether if it was a genuine order or not. I called up my suppliers. They called me back like 10 times confirming, "Are you sure? Are you sure? Is it going ahead?" And I'm like, "Yes, I think it is." I did my research on the purchase up to make sure it's genuine, because like the last thing I wanted was a $15,000 chargeback, because that's a lot of money. But yes, it caused us a lot of stress. And after that one sale, my suppliers, the brands, everyone told us, let's never sell it again. Let's just take it off the website.
How do you deliver that?
Stress.
Like, did you personally deliver it, or are you putting it in the post? Like,
The armour guard dropped it off.
Yeah.
Police, there was an escort to get it to the house.
Yeah.
Well, look, we love Juju, obviously. Mate, thanks for coming on the show tonight, and thank you so much for supporting the show. And we can't wait to see what you guys have got in store in 2026. That's weird. There's a new year around the corner.
I know.
How did
What are
that
they going
happen?
to come up with next? I'm so excited.
A full robot. That's what's coming next. Anton, mate, thank you for coming on Saucy Secrets. And on that note, what do they say? Time flies when you're having fun.
It really does. This has gone really quickly, but oh my God, we've covered a
Guys,
lot.
extend the show. Make it 8 hours straight. It's just not enough. I have too much fun with you all.
I know.
I really
sex will
do.
never be boring. Thank God it keeps.
I really do. Make sure you grab the podcast on the iHeart app. It's for free. And obviously, like, subscribe on YouTube. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your nan. I mean, there are some naughty nanas out there, right? They'd love this stuff, wouldn't they?
And slide into our DMs and tell us your saucy secrets, and you could end up on this show.
Particularly if you are a naughty nana, then definitely slide into Jana's DMs. See you next week.
Bye.